Hey everyone, I want to start off with a question and it goes like this. Have you ever ended a day feeling busy but not effective? Your calendar's full, all the tasks are done, they're checked off, but the one thing that actually makes your job easier and pushes your projects forward is still waiting. Well, I feel like we've all been there at some point where we're doing a lot of work that doesn't really pertain to what we need to do and we take up too much time. But today I want to talk about a concept that has challenged me personally and a leader. It's from a book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. And so this idea comes from that book where great leaders don't just manage time, they intentionally reclaim it. Because time is not the issue, right? It's not a productivity issue. Time is a leadership issue. So the first thing that I want us to talk about is the trap leaders fall into. As leaders, we often carry things we were never meant to carry. We step into tasks others could do, decisions others could make, and problems others can solve. Not because we have to, but because it feels easier, faster, and safer. And I say safer because we always think that we can do it better when realistically we're robbing someone else's opportunity to grow and to take ownership of a project, right? And then slowly, without realizing, we become overloaded, distracted, and stretched thin. Here's the thing, not for lack of passion, but for lack of focus. The second thing, the core principle. Dan Martell says it like this: only do what only you can do. Let me say that again. Only do what only you can do. I want you to think about that. Your highest value as a leader is not found in doing more tasks. Your highest value is found in setting direction, developing people, protecting culture, solving the right problems, creating clarity, and driving vision. If everything is on your plate, then leadership is not being multiplied. It's being bottlenecked. And who is the bottleneck? Look in the mirror. That is the person who's bottlenecking leadership, that's bottlenecking development if we cannot multiply. The third one, the awareness step. Before you can buy back your time, you must see where it's going. So I want to challenge you for 1 week, track your time. Not perfectly, but honestly. I want you to ask yourself these questions. What did I spend my time on? What drained me? What energized me? And what required my leadership? And what didn't require my leadership? Because what you'll soon find out is that most leaders, we spend too much time being busy leaders instead of being effective leaders. I'm going to say that one more time. We as leaders find ourselves in a position where we're busy leaders, but that does not mean that you're effective. Just because you're busy and the calendar's full and all the tasks are done doesn't mean that you are an effective leader, right? Number 4, the buyback decision. Once you see where your time is being spent, you have to ask yourself this very important question. What should I stop doing? Now, here's the thing. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's not uniquely mine. Okay, I want to say that again. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's not uniquely mine. Some of these things may be administrative tasks. Some of these things may be minor approvals. Some of these things may be scheduling details, problem solving others that can handle. Tasks done out of habit. Every task that you release creates margin that you can reinvest. I'm going to say that one more time. Every time and every task that you release creates margin you can reinvest. I don't think you understand. I don't think you heard it. I'm going to say it one more time. Every task that you release creates margin that you can reinvest back into the ministry. I felt too many times as leaders that we're working so much in the ministry that we don't get to work on the ministry. We're too much working in the team that we can't work on the team. And that's the thing that we need to do as leaders. We need to take ourselves out of the equation sometimes and see from the perspective of the outside and how we can improve and see things that are not in our blind spots. If we can pull out, we can begin to see outside of our blinders and begin to point out areas that we can improve on and tasks that can delegate, things that can be given to other people, not for the sake of, like I said, that's unimportant, that it's not important to you, but for the sake of also developing others, right? I almost think of the story of Moses and the Israelites. I want you to think of all the thousands of people that Moses was in charge of, and they would all come to him for decisions, for disputes. And it wasn't until Moses' father-in-law came to him and said, if you keep doing this, you're going to kill yourself. If you keep doing this, you're going to damage the authority that God has placed on you. And so what he said, appoint people over 50, over 100, over 1,000, so that they can make decisions. Give them authority. And then if they can't figure it out, then it would come to you. The big decisions would come to you, Moses. So I want you to think about this. Number 5, the leadership shift. Okay? Delegation is not about getting rid of work. Like I said, delegation is about developing leaders. When you empower others, they grow, ownership increases, confidence is built, capacities are expanded, and something incredible happens. You don't lose control, you gain multiplication. So delegation doesn't mean you lose control. It means you gain multiplication. Number 6, the real goal. Buying back your time is not about working less. Just want to clarify that. It's not about working less. It's about working on what matters most. Work on what only you can do. More time for vision, more time for strategy, coaching, relationships, innovation, growth, and thinking space. Because leaders who never create margin eventually lose clarity. And leaders who lose clarity cannot lead effectively. I'm going to say that again. Leaders who do not create margin eventually lose clarity. And leaders who lose clarity cannot lead effectively. So I'm going to leave you off with this, the challenge. I want to leave you with this question. What is one thing that you can delegate? One thing that you can release or redesign this week to buy back 1 hour of your time? Not 10, not 20, just one. One reclaimed hour invested into developing someone, thinking strategically, strengthening culture, and building relationships. These small shifts create massive change over time. You can't see this on the sign right here that I have, but it says small wins over time. Small shifts create massive change over time. And I'll leave you with this. Busy leadership is common. Intentional leadership is rare. Let's be leaders who don't just react to time, but we steward it well. I'm going to say that again. Let's be leaders who don't just react to time, but we steward it well. Because how we use our time shapes the impact of our leadership. Only you can do what only you can do. God bless you. Have an amazing day. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. And I cannot wait to see what God does in your leadership when you buy back your time.